Hey folks, this is Kelani. Many of you probably know that towards the end of Legion I was moving further and further away from playing my Hunter as regularly. I ended up putting a lot of time into my Paladin and my Mage, both of which have been heavily featured throughout so many of my videos. The main reason why I decided to stop playing my Hunter as much was because I didn't enjoy my favourite specialisation anymore. I've been playing Marksmanship Hunter for quite a few expansions now, obviously swapping around a little bit when the other two performed a little bit better than Marks, but my favourite spec has always been Marksmanship. Legion sort of ruined Marks for me a little bit. I really didn't enjoy the vulnerable playstyle all that much, but with the new expansion comes the promise of change, at least for a few classes and specs. Marksmanship is one of the specs getting quite a few changes, so let's see how different the Battle for Azeroth Marksmanship Hunter is shaping up to be. Remember, it's still early days, everything is subject to change and all the usual stuff regarding alpha footage. So first things first, Vulnerable is gone. Kaput. It's not even an ability in the game anymore. Mark Shot is also gone, but that means we're going to have a significantly different playstyle next expansion. Marksmanship is still revolving around aim shot, but there's a few differences to the way it's working. It's about a 2.5 second cast, you can't move while casting it, and it's now a charge based system. You have 2 charges baseline and it will cost you 30 focus to fire off an aim shot. This is still going to be our hardest hitting baseline ability by the looks of things, so keeping those charges off cooldown and used appropriately will be where most of our damage lies. Aim shot also has a passive tied to it called precise shots. This causes aim shot to increase the damage of your next 1 to 2 quick shots by 100%, so you can stack this passive up to 2 times, and a single aim shot will grant you either 1 or 2 charges. Quick shot is our other focus spending ability. It costs 15 focus, it's instant cast, but it deals significantly less damage when compared to aim shot. So we'll be wanting to fire off quick shots pretty much only when we have that passive damage boost most likely, and then to prevent us from focus capping. To generate all the focus you're going to need, we have our third main ability, Steady Shot. We can actually regenerate focus reliably from an ability which doesn't have a cooldown. Fancy that. It's got quite a short cast time, can be used while moving, and generates 10 focus per shot. So we'll be spending our aimed shot charges, using quick shot when we have the buff, and using steady shot to keep our focus bar healthy. Then we also have multi-shot, which costs 15 focus and deals damage to everything within 8 yards of your target, so that's our standard AoE option. There's one other ability in our standard lineup called Rapid Fire. This has a 20-second cooldown and fires off 10 shots over 2.6 seconds, dealing quite a bit of damage, but the key here is the focus generation. 2 focus per shot, so that's 20 focus over the entire duration, and you can use this ability while moving. It looks like the only thing locking us down is going to be aim shot. The rest can be used on the move. That's going to be a better focus source than steady shot, so we'll probably want to keep that on cooldown as well. The basics of this new marksmanship seem quite easy to pick up, but there's quite a bit going on which is going to take a bit of practice to really get down. The randomness of the precise shots procs forces you to think on your feet as well. I think I'm going to enjoy this way more than the Legion version of marksmanship. I might actually main my Hunter again at this rate. So let's put the other pieces of the puzzle in place, starting with the Mastery and other passives. Our Mastery is staying pretty much the same. Mastery increases the range of all abilities and damage of focus spending abilities, which is just aim shot and quick shot, and of course anything else you pick up in talents. We have Lone Wolf as a passive now, increasing all damage done by 18% when we don't have an active pet, so that's been moved away from the talents, which is fantastic to see. You can choose whether or not to roll with the pet without having to swap around your talents to accommodate that change. The only other passive we have is Trick Shots. When multi-shot hits 3 or more targets, your next aim shot will hit up to 5 additional targets, or Rapid Fire will hit 1 additional target. Nice to see our cleave and AoE potential is still going to be fairly crazy. I'm excited to see just how much damage we can do with this passive and our new kit of abilities. We do have 1 damage increasing cooldown to go along with everything else, and it's still called True Shot, but it's going to work a little differently. It grants you 2 charges of aim shot, so you're going to want to spend your aim shot charges before activating this cooldown, and it also increases your haste by 30% for 15 seconds. That's going to open up some seriously strong burst windows. Being able to throw off 4 aim shots in a row is going to be pretty awesome. I'm definitely going to miss the power boost our artifact was granting True Shot, but I can probably live with the changes seeing as Vulnerable is gone. That's our only baseline DPS cooldown, but we also have some defensive and utility abilities as well. Our good old trusty Aspect of the Turtle remains as our defensive cooldown, deflect all attacks and reduce the damage you take by 30%. We have some utility in the form of Disengage that hasn't gone anywhere, a quick hop back whenever you need it. Aspect of the Cheetah gives you a quick movement speed increase on a lengthy cooldown. Exhilaration is still a very strong heal on a 2-minute cooldown, you're going to be making good use of that if you're leveling without a pet, and Bursting Shot is a small cone knockback which also slows your targets. There's a few other bits and bobs in here too, like Feign Death to avoid dying from all those mobs you just pulled, Counter Shot to interrupt the spells you don't want your enemies to finish casting, Concussive Shot is a standard single target slow, Flare reveals any stealth targets in the area of effect, Misdirection allows you to redirect your threat generation to an ally of choice, we also have Tranquilizing Shot which removes 1 enrage and 1 magic effect from your target, and of course we still have a handful of traps. Freezing Trap freezes your target in a block of ice for a long duration, and Tar Trap throws down an area of effect slowing field. That's pretty much it for baseline abilities, so let's check out what the talents can add into the equation. Our first talent is Master Marksman. Aimed Shot has a 30% chance to reduce the focus cost of your next quick shot or multi-shot by 100%, pumping up the potential power of Aimed Shot by making your next focus spending ability free. We also have Serrated Shot, costs 10 focus to fire a shot that causes your target to take damage and bleed over 12 seconds. Giving us a damage over time effect is interesting, I can't help but think that it's just Serpent Sting, but it's a bleed damage effect because we're Marksmanship instead of Survival or Beast Mastery, and then we also have a Murder of Crows on this first row, a large damage over time effect that resets if a target dies during its duration. On the next row we have Careful Aim. Aimed Shot has a 20% chance to deal 200% bonus damage to targets above 80% health or below 20% health, so there's your opener and your execute all rolled into one, but it's got a little bit of RNG to it. If you get lucky with this talent you could do some crazy damage. We also have Volley, which is completely passive with no focus cost now, but does more or less the same thing. Auto shots have a chance to launch a volley of arrows to deal AoE damage around your target. Explosive Shot is sticking around, costs 20 focus to fire a missile which you can detonate by activating it again. You also get a little bit of focus back and part of the cooldown if you don't detonate it. Down another row brings us to Trailblazer. You gain movement speed anytime you haven't attacked for 3 seconds. Natural Mending reduces the cooldown of Exhilaration by 1 second for every 20 focus you spend, very useful if you're leveling without a pet, and Camouflage lets you stealth for 1 minute while healing over the entire duration. Streamline causes rapid fire to last an additional 2 seconds, which nearly doubles its duration. That's going to be quite a good chunk of focus regained with this talent, but we also have Steady Focus. Using Steady Shot reduces the cast time of Steady Shot by 0.25 seconds, up to 3 times. It gets reset if you use any other shot, but that would cut off quite a few seconds if you have to Steady Shot 4 or more times in a row. We also have Hunter's Mark, which allows you to mark a single target for a 5% damage increase. If the target dies, you gain 20 focus. We haven't had a true Hunter's Mark in a long time, so this could be pretty fun to play with once again. Born to be Wild reduces the cooldown of Aspect of the Cheetah and Turtle by 20%, Post Haste causes Disengage to grant you movement speed and breaks all roots and snares, and Binding Shot has been downgraded to a root instead of a stun, but works pretty much the same way. Fire an arrow, if anything gets caught and moves too far away, it will get rooted. Down to some of the exciting rows, we have Lethal Shot. Steady Shot has a 10% chance to cause your next aim shot or rapid fire to be a guaranteed crit. Here we are. I was wondering where the crit damage was going to come from. That's a shiny looking talent. But we also have Barrage. Fire off a barrage of shots, dealing damage to pretty much anything you can see in front of you, and probably above and below you. Barrage is always fun. The last talent on this row is Double Tap. This talent has a 1 minute cooldown and causes your next aim shot to fire twice with no extra focus cost, or your rapid fire will just shoot twice as many shots during its channel. That could be an interesting talent, a little different from what we've seen in the past. On the very last row we have Calling the Shots. Casting Aim Shot reduces the cooldown of True Shot by 6 seconds. Sounds incredibly familiar, that one, almost like we were using something like this the entire expansion, but on our feet. I wonder how powerful True Shot is going to be in battle for Azeroth, because that's going to decide how powerful this talent could be. We also have Lock and Load on this final row, which grants your auto shots a 5% chance to cause your next aim shot to be instant and cost no focus, and our good old friend Piercing Shot rounds out the talent tree. Fire off a powerful shot which deals damage to your target and anything in between you and your target for a hefty amount of damage with a 30-second cooldown and a 30 focus cost. I think Piercing Shot is the only ability here which deals deals more damage than an aimed shot, so that's going to be pretty satisfying to use. I can see a few different paths to choose with the available talents, but a lot of this is definitely going to come down to a numbers game. The higher DPS talents will usually win out, so I hope the balance is going to be good, so a variety of playstyles are actually viable. All in all, it looks like Marksmanship is going back to a playstyle more similar to previous expansions, which I'm incredibly excited about, but if you enjoy the current playstyle with Vulnerable, you might end up being a little disappointed. Give it a shot whenever you get your hands on Alpha or Beta or when the expansion finally releases, and see how things go. I would love to hear how you find the new Marksmanship compared to Legion. I think the upfront damage, starting with 2 charges of aim shot, is very powerful for leveling, though I wonder how an extended fight is going to treat us. A lot of our kit seems tailored around burst damage, so if a fight is really dragged out, we might end up at a significant disadvantage, but if we take that execute talent, we might ramp up again when the targets get below 20% health. It's going to be fun figuring out the strong points and weak points of this new Marksmanship, and I'm really enjoying the spec as a whole right now. But what do you think? Are you excited for these Marksmanship changes, or would you rather see a different playstyle? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.